Emmy Awards ET style. Next Entertainment Tonight.
Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer, and here we go again. Another week and what looks like another hurricane on the way. And it could threaten a wide area of the Gulf Coast, including New Orleans. That's where we start tonight, and we'll have these stories.
Could hurricane spending kill the new prescription drug benefit? I'm Gloria Borger.
I'm Lara Logan on how Iraqis took back a city from insurgents and how they plan to keep it.
I'm Wyatt Andrews with a first look at the plans to put men back on the moon.
And I'm Lee Cowan with a look at how New Orleans schools are trying to bounce back.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
The people of South Florida are doing what they have done so many times in recent years. They're buying emergency supplies tonight as they wait for yet another big blow, a tropical storm called Rita, which seems to be gathering strength and will probably be a hurricane when it brushes the Florida Keys sometime tomorrow. And here's the worst part. If projections hold, it could slam into a wide area of the Gulf Coast, the area that includes New Orleans and some of the heaviest hit areas of Mississippi. Mark Strassman is in the Florida Keys tonight. Mark?
Bob, right now it's a bumper to bumper heading north out of the Florida Keys. After Katrina, any storm is on everyone's radar.
Can you believe it? Another potentially scary storm just 3 weeks after Katrina. With memories of all that misery so fresh and Rita on the way, evacuation was an easy sell for many people in the Florida Keys.
We were like in the pool. We wanted to like finish swimming and stuff, and they were like, okay, we have to go. The Keys is like, everyone has to leave.
Tomorrow morning, Rita's supposed to pass through or near the Florida Keys as a Category 1 hurricane. And then the storm should move into the Gulf of Mexico, strengthen, and possibly head in the same general direction taken by Katrina.
This storm is going to end up in Texas or in Louisiana, probably as a strong hurricane and probably as a hurricane disaster.
Rita is the 17th named storm this season, which is already the 4th busiest hurricane season on record, going back to 1851. And remember, this season still has more than 2 months to go. The number of storms is one issue. The intensity of those storms is another. One Georgia Tech study says hurricanes seem to be getting stronger. Researchers say worldwide, the number of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes has doubled in the last 35 years. And the greatest increase of all was in storms forming in the North Atlantic. To explain why, the study partially points to ocean surface temperatures that have risen during the same period. But other forecasters believe it's part of a cyclical pattern that will stay worrisome for some time.
We're going to have another decade, maybe even 2, of more frequent hurricanes coming out of the Atlantic.
With Rita, the natural worry is for New Orleans and the Gulf Coast. What if those devastated areas get hit again? But the immediate focus really is right here in the Keys, getting everyone out before Rita storms in. Bob?
Okay, Mark, thanks. 90 more victims were added to the hurricane death toll in Louisiana today, bringing it now to 736. Federal officials had been telling the New Orleans mayor that he was moving too quickly over the weekend when he tried to reopen the city, and at today's news that a new storm is headed his way, he apparently became convinced they were right. Here is Sharon Alfonsi from New Orleans.
Pretty much everybody wants to get back in, but we got to do it by zip codes here.
Just hours after thousands of residents returned home at the urging of the New Orleans mayor,
We had 2 palm trees. One just snapped off at the top and it's hanging on a roof.
he issued another order: leave.
I'm asking everybody to start the process of evacuating right now.
Just this weekend, Mayor Ray Nagin told residents to come back to New Orleans, hoping it would breathe life into a broken city. Critics called his aggressive timetable a political pipe dream, and today it went up in smoke.
We also have had a new event to potentially cause us to take a different look at things.
With mounting political pressure from the president, another storm headed to the Gulf, and reports that just 6 inches of rain could make the city's levee break again. A once confident mayor did a complete 180.
I'd rather err on the side of conservatism so that we make sure that we have everybody out.
But even before Rita was on the radar, New Orleans was no place for the weak. Clean water is still hard to come by. Much of the city is still in the dark, and stores are in shambles.
This is basically a city now for people who can hike and camp.
Dr. Brobson Lutz is trying to patch up the city's sick with a borrowed ambulance and a bag of drugs.
So now you're going to the patients instead of them coming to you?
Right. House calls are back in Louisiana, no doubt about it.
There's really no other option. All of the city's hospitals are closed or condemned.
If you take a half of one of these.
Storm or no storm, this doctor's diagnosis remains the same. Slow down.
There is no way 180,000 people can be living in Orleans Parish in 2 weeks. No way.
And another reason for concern is the 911 system. It is still not up and running. So if residents here do have any kind of emergency, they're on their own. Bob?
Sharon, it's really these levees that's worrying these officials, is it not? Because if there's another storm, they could give way.
That's right. This levee, if it was in perfect condition, wasn't meant to sustain a Category 4 hurricane. But right now, a tropical storm could do it in.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon. The White House insisted today that paying for Katrina will have only a short-term impact on the federal budget deficit, even if the cost reaches $200 billion. The president has already said that no tax increases will be necessary to rebuild the coast, only cuts in other federal programs. Well, if he's serious about that, Republican Senator John McCain has found a big program for him to cut, the prescription drug benefit that Mr. Bush himself convinced Congress to add to Medicare. Gloria Borger has more on it now, and here she is. Gloria?
Bob, Senator John McCain never liked the expensive prescription drug benefit in the first place, and now he tells us he wants Congress to kill it to help pay for Katrina and the war.
We've got to go back and look at the Medicare prescription drug bill. It was supposed to cost $400 billion. It's now up to $700 billion. We got to cancel it, go back to square one, and then make sure we get prescription drugs to the truly needy.
Cancel it? There are some members talking about putting it off for a year, but you're saying cancel.
I'm saying cancel it. It was a bad idea to start with. I say we're going to come up with a simpler, easier way. Those of you that are below the poverty line, we're going to give you a piece of paper you take to your druggist and get your prescription drug. For the rest of you, we're going to work it out.
Now, how do you think your fellow Republicans are going to react to this?
Look, everything's changed. We didn't anticipate at least around a $200 billion expenditure of taxpayers' dollars a month ago, and so everything's changed. Everything's got to be on the table.
With the estimated costs of this benefit growing even before it takes effect, some Republicans see this as a way to come up with money. But whether they're willing to take on the White House is another question, Bob.
Well, I would just ask you the question you just asked the senator. How do you think his Republican colleagues are going to react to this? Is there any chance that they'll get serious about this, that this could actually pass?
I talked to a bunch of Republicans today. They know there is only so much pork barrel spending you can cut. They want to keep these tax cuts in place. They want to make them permanent. And so privately, when you talk to Republicans, they say there weren't enough cost controls in this prescription drug benefit, and they would like to either delay it or kill it. But whether they're going to take on the White House is a big question here, Bob. And also, don't forget, the Democrats aren't going to go along with it.
Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. After 2 years of tough negotiating, North Korea agreed today to give up its nuclear weapons. Some doubt the North will live up to its end of the bargain, which calls for dismantling weapons and the programs to build them. In return, the United States declares it has no nuclear arms on the Korean peninsula and promises not to attack the North. The North would get energy aid, including electricity, from the South, plus future talks on building a nuclear power reactor. In Iraq today, a burst of violence in a place that's been fairly quiet lately, the port city of Basra. It started when 2 British commandos were jailed for allegedly shooting 2 Iraqi policemen. British forces surrounded the jail and they were attacked by a mob throwing Molotov cocktails. The British later broke into the jail and freed the commandos. Also today, U.S. and Iraqi forces mopped up in a city that they've now taken from the terrorists twice. Here's Laura Logan with that story.
What a difference a year makes. Last time it was American forces running operations here. Now it's Iraqi troops leading the fight in the insurgent stronghold of Tal Afar, backed by American soldiers. Together, they've retaken this city from terrorist members of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, street by street, house by house.
The Iraqi army may not be ready to stand on its own, but what they're showing here is that there's one thing they can do, and that's fight. What makes this operation different is that they're here to stay.
That's exactly what they didn't do before. So after U.S. forces left the city, insurgents returned to take over and terrorize the local population.
This was basically a schoolhouse for murderers, kidnappers, mortarmen, snipers, and direct action cells. And that's now gone.
Gone, but not yet forgotten. In the middle of our interview, this young man collapsed, shaking in fear, when asked why he was so afraid of the insurgents. And this man said 4 of his sons were kidnapped by terrorists.
How do they feel now about this American-Iraqi operation?
We don't want this just one day or two. We want the terrorists to be gone out of Talaq.
The plan is for the Iraqi army to be here until there's a police force strong enough to defend the city. That means that even while they're still hunting the enemy, Colonel McMaster and his men also have to be politicians, pressuring former tribal enemies to work together as local leaders. That's a much longer battle.
I can't tell you a day when it's just going to be done, over. We can declare complete victory. It's going to continue to be a work in progress.
That work has just begun. Days after they were dodging fire on these very streets, American soldiers are being welcomed as they bring desperately needed food and water. But the lesson of last year is that it's a lot easier to take a city than to keep it. Lara Logan, CBS News, Tal Afar, Iraq.
And coming up next, helicopter heroes. The Coast Guard got high marks for its fast response to Hurricane Katrina. How they did it will be our inside story. But first, we again ask your help to reunite families separated by Hurricane Katrina. Quinchel Veal is 10 years old and was last seen in Braithwaite, Louisiana, with her godmother, who is also missing. And we don't know the name of this child. He's about 2 years old and was found on Holly Springs Drive in Bremen, Georgia on September 11th. He was wearing blue overalls, a blue striped shirt, and black sandals. If you have any information about these children, call 1-800-THE-LOST or log on to missingkids.com.
That's me, Lola, and today's my 11th day with Prilosec OTC. You know, when I'd get frequent heartburn, I didn't just miss the food, I missed the cooking. But Prilosec OTC changed all that, and it started working the first day. On day 2, I did a stir fry. Day 4, I baked a pie. Today, it's Lola's lasagna. Imagine, 0 heartburn for 24 hours with 1 pill a day. It's day 11 for me. What day are you on?
We're investing over $1 billion in North America. It began with a new design and research center and test track in California, a new engineering facility in Michigan, and now a state-of-the-art assembly plant in Alabama, creating thousands of new jobs across the country. The result will be a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different, Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is now approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent urges, our pipes just don't work as well as they should. Sometimes you worry you could spring an embarrassing leak. So why deal with it on your own when there's something more you can do? Treat it once daily with Vesicare. Vesicare can reduce urges and may even help relieve bladder leakage. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion.
So why wait? Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you. Fewer urges and leaks. With Vesicare, it's not just a pipe dream.
The prospect that Tropical Storm Rita will further disrupt oil production sent the price of crude up more than $4 a barrel today, the biggest one-day jump ever. That rattled Wall Street. The Dow fell 84 points, the NASDAQ lost 15, and gasoline is now given up more than half its post-Katrina gain. The nationwide average price is down to $2.81 a gallon. The rest of the federal government may have fumbled on Hurricane Katrina, but if there is one true thing to say, it is that the U.S. Coast Guard came through with flying colors, among other things, rescuing 33,000 people. How did they do it? Bob Orr with the inside story.
Katrina's gales had barely stopped howling when the cavalry arrived.
That's just below the aircraft.
Not on white horses, but in orange choppers.
Let's go back. Pick up some more kids.
While FEMA and local officials exchanged blame for a sluggish response, there were heroes at work.
Nothing prepared us for the scope of the devastation down there.
Like Coast Guard pilot Dan Taylor. In 4 days, his chopper crew saved 50 people.
In the New Orleans area, literally just about anywhere you looked, you saw people on rooftops that needed help, people waving things out of windows that needed help.
Taylor relied on his own judgment in deciding who needed to be rescued first.
This was not a case where you saw a need and then had to radio back and get permission or get some kind of chain of command authority?
Oh, not at all. There wasn't a single time while we were in the air where we had to ask permission to do anything.
And that's why the Coast Guard succeeded. Unlike many other federal agencies, it was able to cut through the bureaucratic red tape with a simple philosophy. Act first and get permission later.
Drivers, clear the power lines, clear, move easy back and left.
Crews on the scene assessed the needs and the risks in an urban danger zone.
It was definitely something that we don't train for. We can't go around and flood a neighborhood and train picking people off houses. We're usually out in the open water. So.
How many more are we going to try to get in here, sir? How many more you want?
There were no specific orders from headquarters.
Basically, we'd freelance and just pull as many people as we could fit in the helicopter at a time.
It's a can-do organization.
Former Coast Guard Commander Stephen Flynn says FEMA and other agencies need to build on the Coast Guard's success.
It can't be a reactive, give me a specific laundry list of what you need and we'll figure out whether we got it. The most critical time in a disaster is in the first 48 to 72 hours. And if you're not poised to help out, you're not going to be much good.
There were heroes in Katrina.
We didn't lose a helicopter. We didn't lose anybody that we were hoisting, so I think it went well.
I think the Coast Guard knocked it out of the park.
The question is, will they have more help the next time? Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
And just ahead, NASA unveils plans for a new space vehicle that would replace the shuttle and take astronauts back to the moon.
Since I have type 2 diabetes, I try to do what my doctor says.
But her blood sugar is still too high. I exercise whenever I can, but his number still won't come down.
I try to watch what I eat.
But her blood sugar is still not under control.
Even though you diet, exercise, and take your medicine, managing type 2 diabetes can be hard. Adding Avandia can help. Avandia lowers blood sugar. It works differently than other diabetes medicines by helping your body use its own natural insulin better. And Avandia can help maintain blood sugar control.
Avandia may cause fluid retention or swelling, which can make some heart problems worse or lead to heart failure. Avandia is not right for everyone. Talk to your doctor if you have heart failure or liver problems. Blood tests should be used to check for liver problems before starting and while taking Avandia. Avandia may cause weight gain. It may cause low blood sugar when taken with other diabetes medicines and may increase your risk of pregnancy. I got my blood sugar under control. You really did. Could adding Avandia help you?
Looking for a simple dinner? Just follow the recipe on Campbell's Cream of Mushroom. There's 5 meal ideas on every label, like Campbell's two-step chicken bake. Add Campbell's Cream of Mushroom to chicken and bake for a delicious dinner in 30 minutes.
This is good, Mom.
This is good, Mom.
Just came to me. Come home to a home-cooked meal with Campbell's.
Nobody likes a dirty toilet brush, so get Clorox Toilet Wand with foaming Clorox cleaner. Unlike that nasty old brush, it doesn't just scratch, it stains. Clorox Toilet Wand System. And to keep your toilet clean with every flush, use Clorox Automatic Toilet Bowl Cleaner.
the following message is completely tasteless and completely clear. Benefiber. Unlike Metamucil, it dissolves completely in beverages and is tasteless. Now that's fiberlutionary. Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Escalade EXT and the larger ESV. Seeing is believing. Cadillac, breakthrough.
The Cadillac Employee Discount. Available on all 2005 and 2006 Escalade models. Visit your local Cadillac dealer.
The pressure may be on to cut federal programs, but NASA picked today to announce a huge new program, a $104 billion plan to go back to the moon. The question is, will it ever fly now that the Gulf Coast must be rebuilt? Wyatt Andrews has details.
It will take Americans to the moon and beyond, but it will look like it came from the 60s. The new space vehicle, the replacement to the shuttle, looks like an old-fashioned space capsule.
The outer mold line is very Apollo-like, except larger. Think of it as Apollo on steroids.
Unveiling a bold new plan, NASA Chief Michael Griffin says the new CEV, or Crew Exploration Vehicle, will take America back to the moon by the year 2018.
It's one small step for man.
Just like in the heyday of the Apollo moon missions 36 years ago, astronauts will land on and take off from the moon using a separate lunar lander. But this time there will be 4 astronauts, not 2, staying at least a week, not just 2 or 3 days. The CEV, upon its return, will be able to land on the ground and be reused up to 10 times.
It's easier to build it. It's easier to operate it. It's not a complex winged vehicle that has to fly on a runway. It's a big step forward for NASA. I mean, I think everybody in the space program has thought for years they needed to replace the space shuttle.
NASA also claims the CEV will be much safer than the space shuttle. The capsule, by sitting on top of the rockets, will be in front of the fuel tanks that destroyed Challenger and in front of the kind of debris that destroyed Columbia.
Frankly, the 2 failure modes which caused the loss of Challenger and Columbia cannot happen on this vehicle due to the basic nature of its design.
Under NASA's plan, the new space capsule won't just go to the moon. It will go beyond to Mars. And so the expense of it all is a wild card. With $200 billion now needed to repair the Gulf, Congress will be more hesitant to spend $100 billion on the moon. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
One of the biggest fish caught in the corporate corruption scandals was sentenced today to up to 25 years in prison. Dennis Kozlowski, the former CEO of Tyco, was convicted of stealing $150 million from the company to, among other things, throw lavish parties and furnish an apartment, including that infamous $6,000 shower curtain. Still to come, calling a school home. You'll meet some dedicated teachers who are actually living in their New Orleans school.
Work with that left hand.
Thanks for the dress, Mom.
Simple, everyday moments can be the perfect time to talk to your kids about not smoking, so you don't have to plan a big discussion.
Look, there's a dragonfly on one of the roller coasters.
Is your leg? A little moment will do just fine. Talk to your kids about not smoking.
Smoking cigarettes can hurt your game too.
They'll listen.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't.
For conversation starters, log on to philipmorrisusa.com.
Sadly, arthritis pain can mean the end of life's little pleasures. But not for people who use Aleve. People whose doctors have told them the good news about the strength and safety of Aleve. The good news that only Aleve can stop arthritis pain all day with just 2 pills. That would take 8 Tylenol. Take back the pleasure arthritis pain took away. Ask your doctor about the good news. Ask your doctor about Aleve.
Marie Callender was like a lot of grandmas, and nobody has ever indulged us like Grandma. A cookie before dinner, the extra scoop, even a fort in the living room was just fine. And Marie Callender's also believes in a little indulgence, so we never cut corners. Like our chicken pot pie. It has a flaky crust made from scratch that's filled with tender chicken and crisp vegetables. Marie Callender's chicken pot pies. Sit down, eat, enjoy.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Digger. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or those surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do a simple blood test. Other side effects, including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash, were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
Detectives in Clark County say someone used this Holiday Inn Express as a quick and easy way to steal credit card information. That story tonight at 6.
And finally tonight, the lessons of Katrina. For the students and teachers of New Orleans schools, it is a tough transition, getting beyond the devastation and back to education. Here's Lee Cowan.
The devastation of New Orleans is already in the history books, quite literally, in classrooms all across the city. The desks, the chairs, the children's artwork, even their report cards were all lost to the rising water.
This is the fate suffered by more than 186,000 school kids all across Louisiana. They'll all have to be moved to a new school, new friends, new teachers. That in and of itself would be stressful enough. But imagine that on top of everything else they've seen.
I don't have my friends that I used to have here.
Do you know where they are?
Charles Augustus is in 3rd grade. He's one of nearly 400 displaced students who had to be transferred to this school in the suburbs.
And what about your school, your old school?
It's bad.
If you want to know just how bad, listen to this. His teacher, Joanna Rich, is no better off.
I understand what it's like to not really have a home either, so.
She and 5 other teachers from New Orleans are now living in the school itself, sleeping on cots, showering in the locker room, because they too have nowhere else to go.
As soon as word got out that we lived in the school, hands started popping up. We lost the roof on our house. We don't know anything about our house.
But that's as far as most of them go.
I don't think that they have the words to describe it.
And when they do, it's brief.
What do you think about the storm?
It was horrible.
Cherish Avey lost everything, but things here at her new school are starting to look up.
I made 2 new friends.
You made 2 new friends? Well, that's good.
Good morning.
They like to come to school and pretend that it's normal, that their lives haven't really changed.
And even though they have changed, those slipper-footed teachers are trying their best to ease the transition. Lee Cowan, CBS News, New Orleans.
And that's the news. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. The Walmart price, saving you money on the things you need every day. This is CBS.
Next, the search continues tonight for 2 foster children abducted from Salem. Find out why police are certain their mentally unstable mother ran off with them.
Plus, they killed a disabled woman in their care, and now a judge is handing down their punishment.
And DEQ enlists the help of Big Brother to speed you through the evaluation process. Hear why some are skeptical about these new tracking devices.
Now, for Portland, Southwest Washington, and all of Oregon, this is KOIN News 6 at 6 p.m. News that's to the point.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to KOIN News 6 at 6. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Kelly Day. Thanks for joining us tonight. An Amber Alert is still in effect tonight